1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 6 in the morning, the sun is calling. Let's make tortillas in Guatemala. It's 9 in the morning, the jungle quivers. Let's go to school on the mighty Amazon River. It's 12 o'clock noon, the sun is high. Big Ben strikes 12 on London sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's 3 in the afternoon, my friend. A hot wind is blowing across the Heron Sands. It's 6 in the evening, the sun is setting. Let's bring marigolds to an Indian wedding. It's 9 at night, listen to the tune. Shakuhachi flute under Japanese moon. It's midnight now on New Zealand shores. Whales delight in whale song and lore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 in the morning on Arctic floes. Polar bear floats where only polar bear knows. Come with me around the world, my friends, counting the hours in other lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Hello,
Hello again. We're talking hands,
talking feet.
and today, well, you just watched a video and listened to the song called A Day Around the World. And we're going to spend some time now talking about it. We're going to go into the time zones, which is what the song's about. And it begins with,
The question, what time is it?
I don't know, what time is it, Melanie? Is it a joke?
Well, it depends where you are in the world.
It does. It depends where you are in the world. Here in New Mexico, it is 3:45, or you can call it 3:45. So we're talking about the time zones, and the whole world has 24 time zones, which is very interesting.
Right, and this is how it works. Did you know that the planet is spinning around her own axis? That is why when you wake up in the morning, the sun rises. And when it's midday, the sun is highest in the sky. And when evening comes, the sun sets. It's all because of the rotation of the planet spinning around and around. She spins one time around for each of our days. Now here's a question. Is it morning at the same time all over the world? No, right? Because when it's getting light where you are, it's getting dark on the other side of the planet. That's why there are different times all around the world And that's why we have time zones.
There's so many things about time zones. Now, one of the things is, have you ever heard the phrase jet lag? Jet lag. It's when somebody travels from, let's say, Albuquerque all the way to London. Yeah, that's 7 hours difference. And when they land in London, their body clock, which every person has, is still on Albuquerque time. It thinks it's the same time of day in Albuquerque. But now you've gone 7 hours ahead really fast at about 640 miles per hour in a jet airplane. And your body's actually a little confused. And you get really tired because your body's trying to get into the new time zone. You can find out a lot about time zones, the history of time zones, how they came up with the time zones, why the lines are where they are around the planet, which are called the meridian lines that go up and down, north and south, and why there's something called Greenwich Mean Time, yeah, that goes through Greenwich, London, and that's where they have the international timeline. You can find out all kinds of things about funny time zones where you might go just a few miles and the time changes, and then a few miles more and it changes again. There are a few of those around the planet.
So when I moved from South Africa to the United States of America, I had to really figure out what time it was when I wanted to call my family, because I couldn't call them in the middle of the night there, which I almost did. So I had to figure that out. And that's kind of interesting when you know people around the world.
Yeah. And you can think about it right now. You can think, somewhere in the world right now, right this moment, other children are waking up. They're just waking up. And they might be waking up in a place where there's a lot of chickens. And there's a rooster crowing that wakes them up in the morning, and that's the first thing they hear. Or they might be waking up to a burro, a donkey, doing its hee-haw, yeah? Their brain, it's called their You might be, another child may be waking up to the sound of parrots that always fly in pairs away from their roost and back to their roost at night. But they leave at dawn in the morning and they squawk, 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 squawk as they're flying away in a jungly place. Or if you live in Africa, and if you live in the wilds of Africa, and you might be a tribal person who lives there, you may wake up to the sound of the lion roaring just before it gets light. Amazing. Somewhere in the world right now, oh, here's the lion we were just talking about. Somewhere in the world right now,
there might be a child that's very similar to you that's playing with their brother and sister right now. Or there might be a child who's cooking a meal with their dad. Or maybe fishing with their mom. That would be interesting to know.
They might be sound asleep, having sweet dreams about kitties. Somewhere else in the world right now, other children who look different than you, who have a different language than you, who behave somewhat different than you, do things different than you do, they might just be going to sleep. They might just be going to sleep to a lovely story in their language, something that makes them smile, just as stories make you smile at night or make you wonder. Every human being experiences feelings. And so just because they're different than we are, than you are, doesn't mean they don't have the same feelings as you. Okay, here's a little something from Ma and Pa Yellow Glow. Have you ever noticed that time goes at different speeds depending on what you're doing?
I really have noticed that.
Yeah,
That's
you know how
amazing.
they say time flies when you're having fun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed, does time fly when you're bored?
No.
Goes really slow.
Yeah.
So here's a clue about living. Time flies when you're having fun. It also flies when you're really focused on something. If you're really focused and you're concentrated on something and you're really in the grip of something and you're really paying attention, guess what? Time flies. But when you're dispersed and all over the place and
Yeah.
daydreaming and thinking about other things, and which is also a kind of state of boredom, time moves really, really slow. And they also say, go slow to,
Go fast.
but we have another saying, which is,
Go,
Go
slow to
go
go slow.
bye.
Bye.
Till next time.